Welcome to the class. Myself Ashwini, lecturer in statistics. And today's topic is about second year syllabus third chapter, that is time series. As we know that nowadays everybody want to know about their futures. So not only in our day-to-day lives but also for economists, businessmen, everybody want to estimate for the future. So this time series analysis plays an important role in economics, business and statistics, especially in commerce. It's very useful to calculate the future trend. So the definition of statistics says that the arrangement of statistical data in chronological order or in the accordance with time is known as time series. I repeat, the arrangement of statistical data in chronological order with time is known as time series. Why do you want this time series? To predict or to estimate the future trend, how it will behave for another next year. If we take the chronological arrangement, then only we can find out or predict the future values. If we will not take chronological order, our future data or future estimation will be wrong. And the requirements or essential requirements of time series data is, as far as possible, the time gap between various values must be equal. That is, if we take the gap between 2 years, if we take the data or year or a time like this, if we consider the data from 2000, it should be 2000, 2001, 2, 3, 4 like that. Otherwise, it should be 2000, 2002, 2004, 2006, or it can be 2000, 2003 like that. That is, we should take a time gap between various values must be equal. If we take 2000 value, then if we take 2001, then if we take 2005, the gap between 2001 and 2005 will be different as we compare to 2000 and 2001. So that the gap should be equal for every data. It must consist of homogeneous set of values. So homogeneous means the characters of the values or the data should be same. Data must be available for long period of time. This is very important in time series data because the availability, if we take a long period of data, then our future value can be the predicted future value will be good for our estimation. And to predict the future trend, we have one method, that is graphical representation of time series data. If we represent the graph or a data on the graph, we will get or we can see the trend, whether it is increasing or decreasing or it is same, it is constant, everything we can calculate using this graphs. And the graphical representation of data, we call it as histogram. I'll repeat, a graphic representation of time series data is called as histogram. And next is uses of time series. It helps in planning and forecasting the business activities. Whatever the business activities we want to see, we will use the previous data or previous time period and we can predict for the future. It helps in understanding past behavior and it will help in estimating the future behavior. It's true. And next thing is comparison between the data of a period with that of another period is possible. The comparison between the 2 years gap, 3 years gap or a year gap, we can conclude. For example, our rainfall. We can predict the rainfall for next 10 years also. To predict the next 10 years rainfall, we will use past 100 years rainfall for a particular area or a particular place. And last use of this time series is we can evaluate the progress in any field of economic activities. not only for economics, we can use this for each and every field to predict the future values. And in time series data we have 4 components or 4 types of time series data we have to. One is, and our observations of time series is affected by so many factors. The effect of these factors can be classified, and how it will affect and why it will affect, that we can calculate. And the 4 important components of time series data are circular trend, seasonal variation, cyclic variation and irregular variation. And the first is circular variation. The general tendency of time series data, whether it is increasing or it is decreasing or it will remain constant during a long period of time, is called circular trend. For example, last year during these time, that is from the period of June, July, August, September till October, in last year, that is 2019, it was a very rainy time for throughout Karnataka. But again, for using that data, we have predicted for this year also, and we have taken so many measures to control the rainfall or to maintain the rainfall. And the long term or a long period of time in trend depends upon the nature of the data. If we take the data, for example, we are talking about rainfall. Rainfall can be predicted for next year also using last year's and this year's data. And if we take long period of data, then also we can predict the future value. For example, increase in the gold rate in the past many years is an upward trend. Before the lockdown period, the gold rate was around 3,000, 3.5 like that. But now, after we are unlocked, the gold price is increased to 22% or 125%. It increased before the lockdown and after the lockdown. The gold period is upward trend, or it is increasing day by day. And decrease in the death rates in the past many years is a downward trend. Death rate due to particular diseases, for example cancer, for example plague, for example the death rate of a sugar patient, these things are decreasing day by day. And those who are suffering from polio, H1N1, everything is decreasing day by day because of vaccinations, and this shows downward trend. And the second one is seasonal variation. As the name suggested, that it's a seasonal variation, season by season or a period of season, it will gives the data. The regular, periodic and short term variation in a time series is called as seasonal variation. We know that during this period we will get this season because now it is a rainy season. After from October, November till Jan, February, it will be a winter season, and next we will go through the summer season, like that. Depending upon the seasons, we can see the variations in time series. And seasonal variations can be predictable. Yes, we can predict what will be the future. And the factors causing seasonal variations will be climate and weather condition. We know that. Customs, traditions and habits of people. Climate and weather conditions are natural forces. We cannot stop that. But these customs, traditions and habits of people is a man-made convenience. For our convenience, we will celebrate the festival, we will buy the things, we will make sweets, or we will buy the crackers for festival, and we will celebrate Dasra very grandly. And Christmas, during Christmas, the cake, Christmas trees, greeting cards, everything, the sale of those things will be more. And the best example for natural forces, will be umbrellas are sold more in rainy season, as we know that. And in winter season, the sales of woolen cloths will be increases. In summer, the ice creams, cool drinks, etc. will be the sale of these things will be increased. And for man-made convenience, that is for our convenience, our customs, our habits, most of for that example is, most of the students, they will buy the books, stationaries during starting period of their classes. For example, during the month of May or June it will start, so that during those period of time, everybody will buy the books and stationaries for their purpose. And seasonal indices are used for measurement of seasonal variation. Seasonal indices is nothing but the above factors what we have learnt, those are the seasonal indices. And the third one is cyclical variation or a business cycle. Cyclical variation, the name itself is suggest, or it says us, it will goes and again it will come down, again it will go. That is called cyclical variation. The most of economics and business time series are influenced by wave like prosperity and the depression. Prosperity is nothing but we are having a peak level of sale or a profit, and this depreciation is nothing but a loss, and the constant line is always as a normal trend. And I'll write the business cycle. This is prosperity and decline, and this line is normal line, and this is depreciation, and this is again recovery. See, once the sales will go up, again it will come to normal condition, or it will go to loss, again they will recover to normal condition, and again we can rewrite or we can continue this to prosperity, normal, depreciation and recovery, like that. So these things will happen only in business, only in business. And in examination they will ask this business cycle for 2 marks with representation. And one cycle consists of 4 stages, as we told that this is only one cycle and it consists of 4 cycles, that is prosperity, decline, depreciation and then recovery to a normal condition. And the last one is irregular variation. The name itself is saying it is irregular, we don't know and we cannot predict this, or it can be a random or erratic variation also. The best example for irregular variation is a earthquake. We don't know when it take place, or a flood, war, lockdowns, earthquakes and strikes, everything will be a irregular or unpredictable variations. And we have 4 types of methods to calculate this circular trend. In this class we will only discuss about, or we will for this, in this chapter particularly we will see only for circular trend, because there the data will be for a long period of time. In circular trend the data will be long period of time. That's why for our time series we will take only or consider only circular trend. To calculate that we have 4 types or 4 methods. First one is a graphical method, second one is semi-average method, third one is moving average method and least square method. I'll write down those methods. Methods of measuring circular trend. And the first method is graphical method, second one is semi-average method, third one is moving average method, and the last one is least square method. Least square method. See, in graphical method we'll just plot the values on a graph and we will see the variations, whether it is increasing or decreasing, what trend it is following. During that graphical method we will take x-axis as a time period and y-axis for values. And the next second method is semi-average method. In semi-average method, the whole data will be divided into two halves. The whole data should be divided into two halves. Then we will calculate the average. We'll take the average of half of each. Then we will plot these two values on the graph. Then we will see the variations. And in moving average method, this moving average method is nothing but purely a arithmetic mean. Based on a arithmetic mean, we will calculate the moving average method. And in moving average, we have three moving average methods. One is 3-year moving average, 5-year moving average, and 4-year moving average. And this 3 and 5 years moving average, we call it as odd number moving average, and this 4-year is even number moving average. Later we will discuss these things when solving the problems. And the last method is about least square method, and this is a mathematical method measuring trend of the type. Purely least square method is a mathematical method using, and equation it will be in the form of y is equal to f of x. F of x is a function, and to find least square method we have three equations or three types of equation. That is, one is straight line trend, and in straight line trend we will take only first order equation, y is equal to ax plus b. In straight line trend we will use only first order equation, that is y is equal to a plus bx, and second one is quadratic or second order, y is equal to a plus bx plus cx square. Here the order of x is second degree, that is second degree equations. And the last thing is, and this quadratic we also call it as parabolic trend also. And the last thing is exponential trend or logarithmic trend. Last one is exponential trend. Here log y is equal to, or we will write like this, y is equal to a b power x. Y is equal to a b power x. Instead of calculating the b power x, we will take log on both the sides, and we will rewrite this as log y is equal to log a plus x into log b. See here the difference between the exponential and the first order. See, it is y, here it is log y, and this is a, this is log a, bx, it is x log b, or b log b into x, whatever it may be. And while calculating first order, second order, or a exponential trend, we have some normal equations based on their degrees. Thank you.